Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk East Stroudsburg University women's soccer. Rob Berkowitz joining us again. And Rob, 3 in a row. How did you get it done once again?
Just a bit of good fortune, some good play, and just some kids stepping up in some big moments. It was a little bit different than the past couple years, but coming up with big plays at the right moments gave us a third championship in a row.
Let's talk about a couple of the losses this year first, and then we'll talk about the wins. But you always learn from your losses, and take us through a few of those where maybe there was some growing from those losses.
Yeah, the big thing really with the losses were, our first loss of the season was at Delphi. We lost to a Delphi top 5 team in the country, and that was the first time really we were tested this season, and we played without our leading goal scorer, Alex Pickett. And it was a loss that wasn't a bad one. We let up a goal, I believe, was in the last 10 minutes. So we hung with one of the best teams in the country for the whole game and had a couple chances at the end to tie it up. But overall, it was a good performance. And then we were kind of rolling along. I think we were 11-1 and maybe number 3 in the country. And then we had suffered some significant injuries. Alex Pickett, our leading scorer, she had a knee injury. Shay Neal, a returning All-American, she was diagnosed with mono, so she missed 4 games or 5 games. Alex missed 4 or 5 as well. And then Laurel, 4-year All-Conference center back, she tore her ACL, all in a week span. So we dropped a couple games without them, and we're fortunate to get Alex and Shay back and made some changes kind of to our back line with one of our holding midfielders played center back for us. So we adjusted some things. And then once we kind of got healthy again and started playing better was really the Edinburgh game. We lost it in double overtime, but we were about as healthy as we were going to be going into the playoffs, and went on the road, got a good win at Gannon, and then played really well in the opening round against Slippery Rock, winning that one 5-0, and we had tied them a couple weeks prior, 1-1. So the team was playing well, and then we advanced on penalty kicks against Westchester, who was unbeaten and untied at that point, and then we were fortunate to get the result against Kutztown in the championship game.
Well, sounds like an incredible run, that's for sure. And here we are going into this weekend, a little Friday matchup and hopefully a Sunday matchup as well. And you're going to start things off with Notre Dame of Ohio down at Westchester. So I guess having that kind of same itinerary, knowing what you did a week ago to head to Westchester is going to be pretty comparable. You're going to face great competition, and you're going to be in Westchester again.
Yeah, it's going to actually be almost identical. A Thursday practice time is the same, so that'll be it. We'll stay in the same area, so that's going to be familiar. And then we'll kick off on Friday around the same time. So the routine is going to be identical. We're pretty familiar with the facility. It's going to be a third time playing there this fall, a 4th game. So yeah, the team is familiar with kind of the schedule, and I think with the Friday Sunday of the conference tournament, the team knows how to recover. If we're fortunate enough to advance on Friday, kind of enjoying it for a short period of time and then getting refocused for Sunday. But Notre Dame, they're the best team in the Mountain East Conference. They won the regular season. They won the conference tournament. They're a one-loss team, so we're going to have our hands full. And I think if we could continue to play like we've been, we'll give ourselves a chance to advance to Sunday against Westchester.
You're still working hard, and I'm sure you're working on those recruits, for next year, the year after, and into the future, as it's so competitive in that PSAC. But at the same time, I'm sure there's moments that you say, we're really proud of what we've accomplished here at East Stroudsburg University, you and your coaching staff and the entire athletic community, because everybody gets behind it there at ESU.
Yeah, the support has been unbelievable. So really dating back to 2014 when we won our first one. There's been some excitement around the program, and it has allowed us to attract some recruits that in years past maybe we weren't able to get in on. But with 17 teams in the PSAC, to be honest, to do it 3 times in a row, and there's so many strong programs, and the margin for error, it's so thin that really to be able to do it 3 times in a row after we won, the staff and I were just almost speechless, to the point that, we've done it on penalty kicks the last 2 years advancing, and a couple overtime games, and it's just a break here or a break there, and the season could be over. But the group in the last 3 years has just really found a way, and sometimes it's a goalkeeper Jules, sometimes it's a set piece, sometimes it's one of our forwards, one of our midfielders. We've just found a way the last few years, and we did the same thing this past weekend.
You're constantly, as a coach, evaluating players, evaluating new talent you're hoping to get in. I'm sure at some point you're evaluating yourself and your coaches, and you guys have just done a tremendous job, you and your staff, and I'm sure there's some things you still want to do a little bit better, but at the same time, as you said, to accomplish this the way you did, there's a little bit of luck involved with some of this stuff, but a whole lot of skill and some great planning by you and your staff as well.
Yeah, I think you're always looking to get better, and I think that's one of the things that we learned last year as a staff and me personally as the head coach, that just because it worked the year before, you still have to be open to change, and there might not be a clear reason why things aren't going as planned or why they're not working when on paper it should. And I think about midway through the season last year, the staff and I sat down, and just the formation we were playing, it probably should have fit us better, but it didn't. So we said, you know what, we need to make a change, and we did, and the players were receptive to it. So I think as you find a little bit of success, it's easy to just kind of get complacent and have blinders on and think everything is great, when sometimes it's not. And I think we started 10-0 this year, but we weren't playing as well as we could have, and that was part of it too, was just pushing the group and not letting them get complacent and start looking at the rankings and the headlines and things, because we knew we were going to be tested as the season went on, and we were going to have to be better. And it seems like we have, as the season's progressed, we've improved individually as a team, and with some injuries, we've had some kids that have stepped on that we've needed to fill some roles that have. So it's always, as I've been doing this a while, and it's still a learning experience for me every season, and the staff as well. And
as you mentioned, a whole different style, I think, in conference you're going to get out of Notre Dame, Ohio, there with the NCAA Division II first-round game at Westchester. So we appreciate your time, Rob. Go get them this weekend, all right?
All right, we'll try, John. Thank you.
Rob Berkowitz, East Stroudsburg Women's Soccer here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.